my name is Ashley Scher. I'm the founder and CEO of ShareLove.Fund. Today we are in week 38 of our RYT 200 yoga teacher training. Each week we have a pose of the week to highlight to help you learn our 45 signature share method poses so that you feel confident that you have a large pose repertoire to work with when you graduate. I'm going to take our handy dandy course manual and just sort of walk you through where we are. Now this is all in the Teachable, but sometimes it's helpful to just have a little conversation about it. I also will take a moment to highlight, I'm using it as a bookmarker today, but this is our beautiful stationery that a donor has donated. Alyssa Swedlow, she did this beautiful watercolor design. We send thousands of these pieces of stationery together with love stamps for incarcerated women so that they may write home to their children with dignity. We have a motto here at ShareLove.Fund. As you know, we're a 501c3 charity that when you treat people with dignity, they act dignified. And this helps our inmates improve their lives. So anyway, without further ado, just in a sort of low-tech way, as you know, every 10 weeks, we learn one pose a week for 9 poses, and then we review those poses on the 10th week. So in week 33, we learned dolphin pose, and every week ending in a 2 is a review week. In week 34, Sphinx. Week 35, locust. Week 36, bow pose, and I apologize for this low-tech approach. We're all just doing the best we can. I think I said week 36, week 37, wheel. And now we're in week 38 for fish pose. So I'm just gonna kind of go through that in my head. This is live, so blips and bloopers and all. So week 38, fish. Week 37, we did wheel. Week 36, bow. Week 35, locust. Week 34, Sphinx. And week 33, dolphin. Why is that relevant? Because in week 42, every week that ends in a 2, we will not learn a new pose, and we will just review the previous 9 poses, and we'll put them together in a little sequence of sun salutation A. And when you graduate, you will have 5 sequences that incorporate 9 poses each, and that helps you learn the 45 key poses, because in those 5 sequences, they will cover all 45 poses, plus the sequence includes sun salutation A, so that's a 6th sequence you'll graduate having mastered. You'll also have your warm-up, so that could be a 7th sequence, and then also we encourage students to use our 45 key signature poses and develop their own sequence. When you engage in creative activities, that is a way to build confidence. It's also kind of fun. It's also a way to give back to ShareLove.Fund, because our current students love seeing sequences from other students. It's more interesting for students to learn from other students than for me, and so that's awesome. So we welcome your input, and that in that sense, the student becomes a teacher. Today, because fish pose is a heart opener, we're going to spend a lot of time stretching. So this is a stretch class. For those of you not interested in a stretch class, then maybe this class is not for you. And for those of you who really want to open up your chest and heart, I might have said hip opener, I apologize, again, it is live, but I meant chest and heart opener. We're going to really do chest and heart opening to prepare us for fish pose. Today, it would be very helpful if you have blocks and bolsters. That's great. So pause me and get your blocks and bolsters if you have them. If you do not have them, that is fine. I love to say that yoga was invented before yoga equipment, and certainly because we were developed for incarcerated women during COVID in 2020. Our program does not require anything except yourself. So it is possible to really open up your chest, you know, just going like this or just laying on the ground. But you can open up your chest even more by propping something in the center of your back to really use gravity to open up deeper. So if you don't have any props, that's fine. You will still get a stretch. If you have props, you can get deeper into a stretch. Finally, if you don't have a block or bolster, but you have access to something, if you're not in a custodial situation and you have some options, then I suggest a blanket or even a hoodie. We'll go over this later in class. But you can roll up a blanket, put the rolled blanket sort of, we'll see how this works, but sort of between your shoulder blades, lean back on that, and that is a way to sort of like give yourself a camel hump, and that leaning on your back, that will be a way to further expand your chest area, stretch your rotator cuff, and so forth. Without further ado, let us start by just breathing together. So please feel free to get the things that you need, and I'll meet you in a seated position where we can just touch base a little bit. If you would like to grab a water, please feel free. Although traditionally in yoga, this time is meant to work and not drink, I think the modern reality is that most of us don't have enough time to hydrate. And so if you can use this class to kill two birds with one stone and get hydrated, I think that that would be great. We're also going to be doing a lot of stretching. That's going to release a lot in your body. And if you drink a lot of water after, I think that can be beneficial to really flush out your system. Nothing herein shall be construed as medical advice. If you have any medical questions or concerns, please see a doctor. Everything you do is at your own risk. It is not reasonable on YouTube for me to be able to modify according to your particular physical needs. This is just a general practice for yoga teacher trainees. And when you become a yoga teacher, you are going to have to make decisions about what is safe and what to partake in and what not to partake in. And so you can start practicing those decision-making skills by deciding when to follow me and when not to follow me. You can always go into child's pose, and I'm just going to demonstrate that quickly. Standard in yoga classes, you're generally invited to take a position in child's pose, which is on your knees. The knees can be together or wide, and you try to put your sacrum on the mat, and you can lean your arms forward or have your hands by your side. I'm going to just back up the camera a little bit because I'm not sure if the whole mat is in view, so I apologize. This is, low budget, but the good news is every donor dollar goes to actual programming for women in need, and obviously not a cameraman, or a woman. So thanks for bearing with me. But okay, that looks like the whole mat is in. Okay, so thank you for that. Let us begin by taking a few breaths together. So you can sit crisscross applesauce. If you're more advanced, you can sit in accomplished pose or lotus pose, auspicious pose. All of those you will learn if you continue with us in our RYT 300 course. In a comfortable seated position, please have your palms to the sky, and then you can connect your thumb and your forefinger, or your thumb and your middle finger, whichever feels more comfortable. We have our palms up because this is going to be a heart opener and chest opener class. And you can observe the difference, having your palms down and having your palms up. You can think about how that feels on your rhomboids, the muscles around your shoulder blades and shoulders, the deltoids, and to observe how that influences your posture, if it influences at all, So please take a moment to slowly have your palms down and your palms up and see if you feel some expansion, some straightening and pulling back with your palms up. When you feel confident in the observations you've made, please connect your thumb to your middle finger or your thumb to your forefinger and gently rest the back of your hands on the edge of your thigh. I won't say on your knee, even though I mean for you to rest your hands very close to the knee, but in teaching, it's important to not put any pressure on the kneecap, and so generally you don't want to tell people to press on their knees. In this position, take a few breaths and make some observations about how you feel. Try to stack your spine vertebrae by vertebrae as if you have a string pulling your head up, 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 and a string at the bottom of your tailbone pulling you down, down, down. Really elongating and stretching in this seated position. It is said in meditation that it's not a passive state, but an alert state. So think about, while you're trying to relax and settle into your breath, continuing to engage your core muscles. If you feel tension, feel free to kind of wiggle it out. You can shake it out. You can go, ah. Sometimes sound helps us get it out. So we can all kind of make a sound if you sort of need that to unwind and release a little bit. It's yoga. It is not that serious. So be silly if that helps. And you can go, ah, and shake it out. If you have any tension in your jaw or your forehead, you can gently massage it to remind yourself to relax. Remembering that your own natural rhythm of your breath is a breathwork technique. And so really focusing on your own natural rhythm of your breath. Feel empowered that you're listening to your very own unique breathwork technique. This is a wonderful time to set an intention. Generally in a yoga class, and you all will be teachers. This is a yoga teacher training class in our fundamentals of professional essentials. You'll learn how to structure a class. So it's common in the beginning of a class to have a centering to sort of help people focus on an intent for the class. I'm going to give you a moment to think about what intention do you want to set for today's class. Maybe you have thought of an intention that you want to set, or maybe nothing comes to mind, and that's okay. We'll do a short meditation today about mindful speech. This can have a benefit for you today as a centering, something to think about, as an intention if you did not think of another personal intention on your own. And this meditation, mindful speech, it can also help you become a more effective yoga teacher. In a yoga class, whether you're teaching a 15-minute class or even a 90-minute class, you have a set amount of time, and the words you use during that time can help make your class more or less effective. And by focusing on mindful speech, you can maximize the benefit of your words and also preserve the amount of energy you use in sharing your words with others. Humans are social creatures. Rarely does a day go by where you don't interact with anyone. Maybe you have family, maybe you live with a roommate, or for our incarcerated women, a cellmate, or maybe you engage with people during work hours. When you talk, you can bring mindfulness to what you are saying, how it may impact others, and what your intentions are. This exercise takes just a few minutes, and you can utilize it at any time. You can do this once or twice a day while on the phone, or talking to a loved one, or during any social interaction. Let's take a big, deep breath, making our exhale twice as long as our inhale to slow our nervous system down and begin to be receptive in a deep state of relaxation. The first step of mindful speech. Before speaking, bring mindfulness to your intentions. From time to time, my voice may be absent, and that is an opportunity to internalize this meditation, to customize it, to reframe it in a way to take the ideas, but use them in the way most meaningful to you. Ask yourself why you are going to say whatever you're planning to say. So when you're going into a social situation, not always, but if you want to, before you say something, you can ask yourself, why am I going to say whatever it is I'm about to say? Sometimes as parents, We may say to children, think before you talk. So that is what this is getting at. But really asking yourself why. So much of what we do in this day and age is do, go, 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 react, react, react. Being busy is a badge of honor, it seems, or it seems like it is something bestowed upon us and we had no choice about it. Some people can say that too little. Do we ask ourselves why? Why are you going to say whatever it is that you're going to say? Imagine the possibility of saying it with even more kindness and patience. Imagine the possibility of saying it with even more kindness and patience. ShareLove.Fund advocates critical thinking, and my opinions here are just my opinions. They can be thought-provoking, and you may strongly disagree with them, and that is just as great as agreeing. I offer it as stimulation and not as end-all. But the idea of approaching a statement with kindness, that can be nice, like, oh, yoga is so loving, yeah, let's all be loving. But it also could be strategic. For example, if you would like somebody to better meet your needs, saying it in a demanding tone might cause them to be defensive, and in the end, you might not get your needs met. Saying something with kindness, like, I see you've been really busy lately. However, it would really help me if you could do this. Do you think you could would it be possible for you to find time to help me? That could be a way of using kindness as a constructive way for onboarding. This also talks about patience. So, I'll be super honest that I've been reading Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. It was really helpful. So all generalizations about gender are, stereotypes or whatever. It's not necessarily true for everyone, but some of you might find, like I have personally found, that as women, we're often quick to fill in the blanks. And sometimes when we ask a question for someone to do something and they're silent, sometimes as women we say, oh, never mind, I'll clean out the garage myself, in a marital situation, for example. But sometimes being patient and asking for someone to meet your need, and then just being patient, sometimes the person is actually going to come around and meet your need. They're just not going to verbalize it super fast. So in mindful speech, being patient can help give the person we are speaking to an opportunity to respond. Not everybody responds at the same pace. The second step, consider whether your words are timely and useful in the moment. We often gossip, interrupt, or simply talk to avoid uncomfortable silences. Think about whether this is appropriate. Is it an appropriate time to talk, and what purpose will your words serve? It is really important to understand that timing has a huge, huge impact. And sometimes we're so busy that we just ask for things right when we need it. and we might not get the response that we want. But if we account for timing and we really think about what is an appropriate time for our communication, we might achieve better results. So timing really matters. Also, in a yoga teacher class setting, we talk about timing in terms of pace. We also talk about tone. How you say it. Now that said, if walking on eggshells as we communicate is anxiety provoking, then that's not worth it. So it's a balance. These are just tips and tricks to keep in your tool belt in case it may be useful. The third step, if it's possible that your words will put someone else down, interrupt a person currently speaking, or ring as untrue, try reconsidering your choice of words. Do you really want to put those words out in the world? Do you really want to do something you might have to apologize for later? What purpose will those words serve you? That goes back to the first step. Why are you saying what you're going to say? While talking, speak slowly and be mindful of the words you are using. When somebody responds either verbally or with body language, observe how it feels. Remember that you cannot control others, but you can bring mindfulness to your own responses. If you're sitting asymmetrically like I was on one side, please feel free to switch so that you stretch your groin and knees and inner thighs equally on both sides. One major advantage of yoga is that we can be symmetrical on both sides. So let's take advantage of that. When you're done talking, leave the words be. Listen to the other person and wait for the right time to talk again. As you practice mindful speech more regularly, you will be able to navigate challenging conversations with more ease. Now let's talk about recognizing unwise speech. You will likely notice times in which you speak without mindfulness. Set the goal to tune in to your habit of talking. Just start with being observant, not judgmental, not saying the perfect thing, but just start by listening to what you're actually saying. Just taking note of it. If you find yourself gossiping a lot, create an intention to avoid gossip. Now, I want to be really clear again, I'll say it again, that ShareLove.Fund advocates critical thinking. This is not a cult, and I'm not telling you what to think or do. It's just a suggestion. So the suggestion is to try to avoid gossip. But I'm not the boss of you, you are the boss of you. So if that's not a goal that you want to set, then don't set it. At the end of the day, like I said before, each of you are going to graduate with an adult, professional, Yoga Alliance accredited teaching degree. You're going to have to make decisions as a teacher of what to take in and apply and what to disregard. So these are just suggestions. If you interrupt others often, bring special awareness to this pattern. Don't beat yourself up. These are growing edges, and you will have an opportunity to attend to them with compassion and kindness. So let's just take a few breaths, internalizing that meditation. When you feel comfortable, we'll begin with a stretch. Push your legs out in front of you. Inhale the arms up. Reach, reach, reach to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, have a flat back. Inhale the arms all the way up and around. Bring your knees into chest. Give them a hug. Place one leg down. Place your left leg down with a bent knee, almost like half cobbler's pose. Your right leg, bring it all the way around. Ground both your sits bones into the mat. Inhale the arms up and place the back of your upper right arm in the nook between pressing against your right inner thigh. And rotate your back around. This is half Lord of the Fishes pose, and this is the start of our heart openers. It's more of a twist, a cleansing twist, but by stretching around, we're starting to work on that heart opener. Inhale the arms up, and then come and twist on the other side. So the back of your left arm will be against your right thigh. Bring your gaze all the way behind you or to the point that's comfortable. Inhale the arms up, and then exhale with the back of your right arm. Oh wait, we already did that side. Okay, it's live, what can I say? It's yoga, it's not that serious. Okay, tap out your feet. Some of you may have feet that are asleep. If your feet are asleep, you can give them a squeeze. Circulation is key. When you're ready, bend your right leg on the ground, like half cobbler's pose, and your left leg, bring it over so that your left foot is firmly grounded on the mat. And then ground your sits bones on the mat. If your body's not really doing this, then do it in a position that is modified, that is comfortable for you. So maybe your leg is just in front of you. Maybe it's too much to put it all the way over. You can play around with that. Inhale the arms up and exhale, placing your right arm on the back of your left thigh. Inhale the arms up and your left arm on the inside of your left thigh. Eyes, gaze all the way around towards the back of the room. When you feel ready, come back to center, and we're going to continue with the twist. Seated on the mat, you can, or on the ground, you don't even need a yoga mat. Stretch out your legs in front of you and slowly come down vertebrae by vertebrae. Why slowly? Because it gives us a little added bonus of a core workout. Inhale the knees into chest and slowly drop your knees to one side. You can drop your knees to the right side and place your right hand on your right thigh. The left shoulder grounded to the floor or mat, and your left palm is up. This is a shoulder and chest opener, really opening the left side of the body. If you want a deeper stretch, you can straighten your right leg and really twist so that your right leg is straight and you're firmly grounding your left shoulder on the ground. And then you're using your right hand, pressing it on your left outer thigh to encourage your knee to encourage your left knee to touch the ground or the mat if it's not already. You'll feel this as a spinal stretch. Have your gaze towards the fingertips on your left side. We're going to stay here a while so that we really open up the chest on the left side. You can use this time to focus on your own natural rhythm of your breath, but slowly encouraging your exhale to be twice as long as your inhale, to the extent it feels comfortable and safe to do so. The purpose of the longer exhale is to lower cortisol levels and help the body get out of fight and flight mode and to create a calming physiological effect on the nervous system. When you feel ready, bring your knees into chest and give yourself a nice little hug. Rock side to side, gently massaging out the spine. As you're rocking, on a big inhale, rock all the way up to the left side, placing your knees on the mat and reaching your arm all the way, your right arm all the way to the other side, so your right arm is perpendicular to your body. You can place your left hand over your right thigh to help ground it a little bit as you try to open up your chest, getting your right shoulder on the ground. Bring your head across so that your eyes are softly gazing over your right fingertips and your right hand is facing the sky. If you want a little deeper of a stretch, you can extend your left leg straight, still trying to encourage your right knee to come to the mat and your right shoulder to also connect to the mat. You'll feel a spinal stretch. And it's also a heart opener and chest opener on the right side. Feel free to make micro adjustments so that you feel really relaxed. You shouldn't feel any pinches or pulling. If you are, maybe you're overdoing it, and just try to make little adjustments so it just feels like a nice, relaxing stretch. We'll be here a while and you can listen to your breath. Again, trying to expand the duration of your exhale. I won't count out the breath to say how long your inhale and exhale should be, because that's really unique to each person's own lung capacity. But I will say that in yoga philosophy, in the sutras of Patanjali, it is said that an exhale twice as long as an inhale is beneficial. So as you're breathing, really think about the ratio. Maybe today it's too much to expand your exhale. So maybe today you just observe, what is the ratio between my inhale and exhale? What if you just take notice of your breathing without judgment? And if you want to take it a little further, then you can encourage your exhale to grow. When you feel ready, bring your knees into chest and give yourself a hug and rock side to side, really rolling out the spine. This time, let's also inhale up, bring your arms around your legs, clasp your hands under your knees and your thighs. Bring your calves down to sort of sandwich your hands, like if your thighs and calves are the bread, your hands are the peanut butter and jelly. And in this position, let's rock a little forward and back, and we'll massage the spine the other way. This also reminds us to be playful. Yoga is supposed to be fun. It's not that serious. It's yoga. This is not brain surgeon teacher training. So there's no laws saying we can't have a little fun. We can't connect with our inner child. We can. So let's have a little fun and rock. As you come back down, ground your feet to the edges of the mat. A little bit wide, so your feet are on the outer edges. Tuck your chin in and slowly roll your head back, trying to gain connection with the back of your neck and the mat to really have the entire spine connected to the mat. And windshield wiper your knees back and forth. This helps loosen up the hips because we just did a twist, and this helps kind of bring everything back to center. So we call it windshield wipering the knees. When you feel ready, drop your right knee down. Bring your left foot to come on top of the outside of your right lower leg. Inhale the arms up and bring them down to cactus arms. Cactus arms is a wonderful way to do a chest opener. This is a way to stretch your hips, your outer thigh, and your chest. If you're not feeling a stretch here, you can get a little deeper of a stretch by rolling up a towel or using a bolster long-wise, vertically down your spine, and that elevation in your center will cause gravity to roll your shoulders back even more. You can also do this with no props, just as I am. Let's take some time to really release in this pose. If you're not feeling it, you can play around with how much you bend your leg or straighten it to really get the right feel. And you're trying to maintain connection with your entire spine on the mat. I'm not demonstrating exactly how it should be because I don't have that flexibility, so there's space between my back and the mat, but that's not on purpose. So the idea is that you're engaging your core and abdominals so that while it's a stretch and a release, it's also empowering and strengthening. You're engaging your core to try to pull your spine connected with the mat. Palms are facing up. Feet and toes and ankles are relaxed. Now just breathe into it. You can slowly tilt your neck to the left side. Slowly tilt your head so your eyes are over the right side, and then bring it back to center. By moving your head from one side to another, it helps remind yourself to relax. It helps you become aware of any tension you may be holding in your neck. Now let us sink into this with attention to the breath. inhale, planting each foot on the outside of the mat. And we're just gonna windshield wiper the legs again to kind of ease out of that. Keeping the arms in cactus arms. Increasing hip flexibility. When you feel ready, drop your right knee down to the mat. Bring up your left foot. Place your left foot on top of your right outer lower leg. Stretching your right thigh muscle, your hips, continuing to engage your core to try to connect the entire back body to the mat. Inhale the arms up, palms up, and play around with having your hands face the mat. Face your feet. So this is a wrist stretch. And so often with typing and stuff, we're curled over. So to the extent this hurts your wrist, don't push it, but you're just trying to kind of experiment with this. So this is the hand position we would use in wheel. And we're just kind of doing the wrist stretch. So we're not going to push up to wheel, but this time when we're stretching our hips, we're also going to be stretching our wrists on this side. So you're stretching both wrists. And while we advocate symmetry in yoga, we're being symmetrical in our stretch on our lower body. And even though our upper body stretch now is different than cactus arms, it's still symmetrical because cactus arms is a symmetrical stretch. So now on this side, when we're stretching the lower body, we can do a different upper body stretch to get more out of class, and it's still symmetrical. Trying to evenly press all the fingers into the mat. Elbows to the sky. This is also working your biceps and triceps and deltoids by engaging your arm muscles in a really supported way. All they have to hold up is their own body weight. Just the arms itself. It's a safe way to stretch the wrists without putting the body's entire weight on the wrist. When you feel ready, shake out your arms. You can clasp your fingers, reach them up to the sky, interlacing your fingers and with your palms to the sky. Firmly place each foot on the mat, kind of tap them out. Give your knees a hug and shake it out side to side. When you feel ready, bring your left leg over your right and grab hold of your ankles. You should feel a thigh and glute stretch on your left side. You're also working your biceps by pulling your ankles into you. Your legs might be like this, and that's fine. Just sort of at your comfort level to feel a stretch on the left glute and thigh. While we're doing this, we're really allowing the body a chance to use gravity to straighten out. Sometimes for some of us, a chest and heart opener just means having straight posture, because for some, we're already curled. So just laying on the ground and trying to be straight is opening up. So that's what this is accomplishing here. It's just giving us more mat time, more time on our back to at least have a neutral spine. And then getting a little bonus, so we're not just here doing nothing, we're getting a little bonus by having a thigh and quad stretch. Bringing the knees into chest. Give yourself another little hug. Then bring your right leg over your left and grab a hold of opposite ankles with your hands, using your biceps to bring your ankles towards you. Now you're stretching your outer thigh and growing on the right side. For a deeper bicep stretch, you can wrap your hands under with palms to the ceiling and grab your ankles this way. This also increases the shoulder and the heart and chest opener aspects by having the palms out. So your palms are to the ceiling, your shoulder blades are tucked in a little bit, and you're working your biceps as you bring your ankles in closer to your chin. If this hurts, don't do it. It should feel good as a stretch, and please feel free to modify so that it does feel like a release and not sharp shooting pain. Sharp shooting pain is never good. That is a recipe for an injury, and it is a message your body is giving you to stop. When you're ready, bring your knees back into chest, give yourself a hug, and then firmly plant your feet on the mat in front of you. You can scoot your sits bones closer to the bottoms of your feet, and then engage your core to push yourself up through your hips. As you push up through your hips, shimmy your shoulders underneath you, clasp your hands together, palms together, and touch the mat with your hands. This is bridge pose and a shoulder opener, heart opener, chest opener. By clasping our hands together, placing our hands on the mat, really pushing those shoulders open, and then pushing up to the sky with our hips. Exhale, come down. At your own pace, slowly come to the side, push up, and let's go into tabletop. Table, we'll do a few cat-cows. From cat-cow, bring your knees wide on the mat. Exhale and push down to child's pose. But in child's pose, clasp your hands behind you and try to put your hands to the sky, furthering opening up the shoulders. Exhale, palms on the mat. Inhale, come to your belly. On your belly, stretch your right hand out and your left hand, place your palm on the mat with a bent elbow. Use your left hand with the palm on the mat to push yourself to the side. And we'll just hang out here, stretching the right shoulder. When you feel ready, roll yourself to neutral position. Inhale, and we'll review locust pose, shoulders back, engaging your whole back body, squeezing your glutes, squeezing your thighs together, squeezing your back muscles, shimmying yourself up, trying to get your toes up, trying to get your shoulders up, eyes, a soft gaze in front of you, releasing tension in your neck, and just breathe. It's yoga, it's not that serious. Pointing your toes. On the exhale, place your forearms on the mat and we'll push up to Sphinx. Continuing to engage your glutes, the back of your thighs, pointing your toes. Continuing with your eyes, a soft gaze. Feeling your biceps engage while relaxing your shoulders. Spreading your fingers so they're equally pressing on the mat. Elbows are under shoulders, not in the rib cage like cobra. And we're reviewing the poses in our sequence, and you will have the final sequence in our review week of week 42. So locust was part of our sequence, which we just did. Now Sphinx is part of our sequence. Inhale, place your left arm all the way out to the mat, keeping your right hand where it is. Press up to have a bend in the wrist. Then roll over to the left side. And now we're getting a deep stretch in the left shoulder to really open up the left side as a heart opener and chest opener. Left palm is on the ground, right palm is also flat on the mat. Hips, you're trying to have straight with the ceiling, as if your back was straight against the wall. When you feel ready, you can roll back to your stomach. Inhale your arms all the way back, bend your knees, and grab a hold of your ankles. Inhale, bring your feet up and rock a little bit. Bow pose. So this is also a pose we're reviewing. Bow, locust, sphinx, and then we push up to dolphin. Those are the 4 poses in this series. We'll do fish pose in a minute. That will be the 5th pose we've learned so far in this series. But let's just review. Dolphin from week 33. Sphinx from week 34. Locust from week 35. Bow from week 36. And then I think I'm forgetting something. Oh, sorry. Dolphin was week 37. So dolphin week 33. Let me see if I got this. It's live, so forgive me. Dolphin week 33. Sphinx week 34. Locust week 35. Bow week 36. I don't know. I may be forgetting one. Fish is supposed we're doing. I can't remember offhand. This is week 37 or 8, but good enough. We got most of it. So for fish, let us get right into our peak pose of the week, the pose we've been waiting for. Come to like a seated boat pose. Exhale, your elbows on the mat, so your fingertips are facing your toes. Your elbows are on the mat. Your shoulders are tucked in. Your chin is in the ceiling. And you slowly straighten your legs, point your feet, and tilt your head back. Your shoulders can cradle your neck. Fish pose. When you feel ready to come out of it, slowly bring your head up, and you can come back down to Savasana. We'll spend the remainder of class in Savasana, and if you have props accessible to you, we're going to use Savasana to further open up our chest and heart so that we can go even deeper into fish pose in the future. So, if you have a block and a bolster, I'm going to show you with a block and a bolster, and then I'm going to show you with a towel or a yoga blanket. So if you have a block or a bolster, you can set it up like this. So you can have one block kind of taller, upright, another block lower, less upright, and you can play around with what feels comfortable to you. That will be in the center of your spine. Can come connect the bottom of the bolster to your tailbone. Slowly lean back and open up your arms to be airplane arms. If you feel comfortable, you can straighten your legs for a deeper stretch. So that is one option to really use gravity to sort of peel your shoulders around the bolster. So this is hyperextending your upper body to get an even deeper stretch than you would as if you were laying flat on the ground. If you don't have a block or bolster for that setup, you can still do it side by side. I'll just show you with a yoga blanket, or you can use a towel. So you can roll it up. So it is like a little burrito. Place it on the ground. Again, scooch it to your tailbone and slowly lean back. If that's too much for you, you can get another blanket or something to support your head, or you can push it up a little bit so that it is along your spine and yet supporting your head. You can have your straighten your legs, and your arms can be in cactus arms or straight out next to you in airplane arms. Because this is less elevated than the block or bolster, I recommend cactus arms to really open up your chest. If you have an eye pillow or something, you're welcome to have that, or if you have overhead lighting that is in your eyes, please feel free to dim the lights. We're just going to do a Savasana, really opening up. So I'm going to come back on the bolster, connecting it to my tailbone, slowly rolling back, using bent knees to protect my spine, opening up all the way, straightening my legs, and having the arms like airplane arms. In the Savasana, you can use your breath to imagine you're opening up in your chest, your underarm area, really rolling yourself out as if your back is going to wrap around the bolster. The palms are to the ceiling, the fingers are relaxed. You can use your jaw muscles to kind of wiggle from side to side, and then relax with your lips gently parted. You can scrunch up your face and then relax it to remind yourself to unfurrow your brow. You can imagine yourself floating and stretching and relaxing. Doing a body scan, paying attention to your toes, just relaxed, gravity slightly pulling them to the outer edges of the mat. Your feet gently roll outward, opening themselves up like a V. Your heels rooted to the mat provide a sensation of grounding and comfort. You feel thankful for your legs, long and strong, connected from the mat, from your ankles, all the way up to your glutes. Your thighs rolled outward slightly. And your hips opening ever so slightly. You pause for a moment on your belly area, taking a few breaths to calm and coax your gastrointestinal area, appreciating all the digestive efforts of your body, and releasing tension with each cleansing exhale. You slowly work your way up to the sternum, breathing in and out, feeling a sense of relief and relaxation with each cycle of breath. As you feel your rib cage expand and contract, you gain a sense of oneness of how your entire body is working together to serve you. You feel grateful for the systems of your body that work on autopilot, even when you are not aware, such as your breath, keeping you alive all through the night. As you work your way up to your upper body, you begin to feel thankful for your breath. As a best friend is always with you, constantly nourishing and cleansing, and always accessible to you. You ask your breath to help you open up your upper back and shoulders and chest, allowing you to stretch your underarm, shoulders, your breath to help you gain expansion. And you visualize yourself in fish pose with your arms all the way behind you. The palms of your hands firmly connected together with clasped fingers. Your shoulders so far back that it feels safe to almost have them pointed to the mat beneath you. Your chin to the sky, your navel to the sky, your spine curved. You feel beautiful in this image. With a straight lower body, a curved upper body, and shoulders beneath you to support you. You feel open and calm and relaxed. Remembering that there's 2 steps to actualization, and the first starts with visualization. Visualizing yourself empowered in fish pose is a precursor, an optional precursor to accomplishing it. Feeling satisfied with your visualization of fish pose, you slowly bring your awareness to your collarbone, clavicle, your neck and throat. As you breathe in and out around your throat, you think about the throat chakras and our meditation on mindful speech. How an overactive throat may lead to excessive speech or interrupting. And an underactive throat in the yoga philosophy of chakras can lead to passive-aggressive behavior or resentment when your feelings are not properly communicated. As you inhale and exhale, you bring your awareness to your chin, jaw, the temples, your eyes, forehead, and the crown of your head. With a final inhale and exhale, you feel a connection from the crown of your head to the tips of your fingers to your toes. And you feel energized with the oneness, the all-encompassing you. When you feel ready, you can shift your body to one side or the other and slowly come up to a comfortable seated position. May the light in me be the light in you. Have a blessed day. Namaste.